Now it is my pleasure to hand the gavel back to Chair Marquart.
Thank you very much, Representative Leslie Gard, for chairing the meeting up to this point. Next on the agenda, we have House File 298, Collegiate Ticket Purchasing Rights Tax Exemption Provided. And we have Representative Knorr here. And Representative Knorr, welcome to the committee. Would someone like to move House File 298?
I'll move House File 298.
Representative Carlson moves House File 298 be laid over for possible inclusion into the tax omnibus bill. And Representative Knorr, welcome to the committee. And I know you have a DE1 amendment. So let's put that on and then we can go from there. So Representative Carlson moves the DE1 amendment. Representative Knorr, any comments on that, or is just to put the bill into its proper form? Representative Knorr.
That's correct, Mr. Chair and members. The DE1 puts the bill in the shape and form that I would like to present.
Very good. Any questions, members? If not, I'm going to vote on the Carlson amendment. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. The motion does prevail. The DE1 amendment is adopted. Representative Knorr, to your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members again. Just to give you my orientation, I represent District 60B, that is the neighborhood surrounding the University of Minnesota. So I'm honored to represent that district. Mr. Chair and members, the bill before you, House File 298, will exclude from taxes the extra amount paid as part of scholarship seating donation program when securing season tickets for a college athletic event. The reason why we're presenting this bill to you today is because the Department of Revenue notified the University of Minnesota in 2017 that they interpreted the law that exists today that the sales tax are due or they're required to be paid for the scholarship tickets. The resources collected by the university's scholarship seating donations are used to provide scholarships to university athletes, as well as provide for costs associated with wellness and academic programs for these students. The resources are not used for general funding in athletics or the university overall. Mr. Chair and members, the University Scholarship Seating Program is similar to the programs that have been standard across the board at schools throughout the country for many years, particularly those in peer conferences such as Big 10, Pac-12, Big 12, SEC, and ACC. These programs pair requested donations with season ticket purchases to provide essential revenue to athletic departments, especially departments like the University of Minnesota that are responsible for generating a significant amount of operating revenue independent of the greater university. Mr. Chair and members, at the university's Twin Cities campus, the scholarship seating program includes select season tickets for 5 gopher sports: football, men's and women's basketball, men's hockey, and volleyball. At the Duluth campus, the program includes tickets for Bulldog men's hockey and football, with plans to expand to women's hockey in the next few years. When choosing their season tickets, fans have the option to choose seats in various zones, depending on the spot. Each zone reflects a different donation level tied to purchasing seats in that area of the venue. Depending on the spot and zone, scholarship seating contributions can be as little as $50 per seat. Fans also have the option of selecting season tickets for these spots that have no scholarship seating donation attached to them. Scholarship seating creates a complete collegiate experience for student athletes by helping the athletic department pay their students athlete scholarship cost, tuition, fees, books, and room and board. With over 1,100 student athletes on the Twin Cities and Duluth campuses, this program has collected approximately $12 million through scholarship seating to help with student athletes expenses. The sales tax on 11 or 12 million in scholarship seating contribution is approximately 1.1 million in state and local taxes. That is enough for us to fund approximately 30 to 35 scholarships for in-state students, young women and men who grow up in Minnesota, dreaming about competing for University of Minnesota. Members, Minnesota is the only state that we are aware of nationwide where scholarship seating donation programs are subject to sales tax. Mr. Chair and members, in 2017, the state legislature and the governor provided a similar exemption to seat licenses at the Minnesota Vikings Stadium, a professional franchise. I believe it's appropriate for the state to grant similar exemptions for collegiate athletes, particularly when the proceeds are going to help the student who need it. Again, Mr. Chair and members, thank you for the opportunity for me to present this bill before you and for your consideration of this legislation. I would like to turn over right now to Quincy Lewis, a former University of Minnesota student athlete, to talk about the importance of this bill. With that, I stand ready to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you, Representative Noor. I do see two members have questions. What I'd like to do is go to this testifier, and then we'll open it up to questions, if that's all right. I see Representative Miller nodding his head, so let's do that. So Quincy Lewis, welcome to the committee. Please state your name and begin your testimony.
Quincy Lewis, Chair Marquart, ranking members, David, members of the committee. My name is Quincy Lewis, and I'm here speaking to you because of my love for the university and also this state that I call home. After my career as a professional basketball player, I returned to work at the university because I wanted to share my experience, my professional experience, and also my time here in Minnesota with the next generation of Gophers so that they could have a better experience than I had. I wanted to share with them my CFAMS experience in the classroom, where I balanced the metro campus with the needs of agriculture in rural Minnesota, my success on the basketball court, winning championships, my special opportunity to be a part of the 1996 Olympics when it came through Minneapolis, my experience of winning a gold medal in the Goodwill Games in New York, being drafted, playing in 3 countries in Europe, but also my experience of coming back after I was done playing and get my master's from the University of Minnesota. And then coming back and really working at a place that I love. None of this would have been possible without the resources and the systems at the university. But it was the idea of a scholarship that really allowed me to dream bigger than Little Rock, Arkansas. I think about what if. What if we reduced the access to scholarships? Scholarships are the dreams that fuel the university. It's the scholarships that, for many, including myself, for better future for people. We all want a strong university. We all want a strong state. Scholarships are a lifeline at the university. They connect us, they empower us, and they give dreamers like me an opportunity who want more. And athletics, scholarship seating program, it brings equity to athletics. It brings a balance between the revenue and the non-revenue sports. It balances between men and women's sports. It provides professional opportunities between the WNBA, NBA, NHL, NFL, and our Olympic sports. It brings a balance of resources from scholarship players like me and many of my friends who are walk-ons. But also, it eliminates food deserts within programs. This legislation is very important because it provides all these opportunities for all of our student athletes. What if a grandson, a granddaughter, a niece and nephew wanted to play sports in college? What would your advice be to them? It probably would be something as simple as, if you work hard in school and you work hard in your sport, you could get a scholarship. Today, I'm asking for help to make sure that our state, Minnesota, and the university system, not just the twin system, but our system can live this promise that if our young kids work hard in the classroom and hard in their sport, that they will have an opportunity at a scholarship. There's no better story than a kid growing up in the walking distance of a U that can hear the sounds of the football games, that dream to be a Gopher and going to win a Super Bowl, like Tyler Johnson from North Minneapolis, or a women's soccer player that grew up in Plymouth, who now plays for the Gophers. And the reason why I bring these two is because why? Scholarships are the bridge between dreams and reality. Thank you this morning, and I appreciate your support of my university and the Golden Gophers, and also Duluth as well.
Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for your testimony. And there are other University of Minnesota officials who are on here to answer questions if need be. So I'll go to members' questions. Representative Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Knorr. I need to get on the same page, and then I have a couple really quick questions. This will all be quick, I promise, Mr. Chair, but I'm hearing terminology that I'm trying to wrap my mind around what this is. So I want to be clear. What I hear this is that there is stadium seat license fees, and in Minnesota, so like that happens in a lot of sports, especially in pro sports. You pay a fee. If you want to get season tickets, you not only pay for the season tickets, but you pay, if you will, for the right to have that seat for your season ticket. It's sort of a way to generate revenue that's been really popularized in a lot of sports. So what I'm hearing you say is it's one of those license fees, and that license fee has a sales tax attached to it right now in Minnesota. Do I hear that right?
So Representative Knorr, or we could go to Mr. Kleman also. Representative Knorr.
Thank you. We can go to the University of Minnesota officials, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so who would like to answer that question?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, please state your name, please.
I'm Heather Broniak, and I'm an Assistant Tax Director in the Tax Management Office at the University of Minnesota. Representative Miller, the scholarship seating donations are very similar to the license payments in the pro stadiums, but they are a little different in that those the license to use a suite is generally a property right, and it can be sold to someone else, and it's often a one-time charge, and the exemption that covers those license fees is really geared toward those pro team setups. The scholarship seating donation is a payment that is for the right to purchase tickets in a preferred viewing location.
Right.
Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make,
Miller.
thank you, Mr. Chair. And yes, absolutely. Thank you, Heather. I don't have your last name in front of me, so
Yeah, and before we go further, Heather, would you spell your last name for the record, please, so we have it?
Mr. Chair, it's Heather Broniak, Broneak.
Thank you very much. All right, Representative Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ms. Broniak. And I'm not necessarily against this. I just wanted to know that I was talking about the same thing, and I think you answered that very clearly. The question that I have then is typically when someone makes a purchase of some sort that includes a sales tax, they also pay that sales tax. And so I would assume that it would be similar in this case. And I'm not sure who wants to answer this, Mr. Chair, but is it your estimation that people are not buying these licenses because of the sales tax? Or is it affecting the market rate that you can have these scholarship seating? I don't remember what you call it, but these licenses. I mean, is the sales tax being a hindrance on the sales of these stadium seat licenses?
Well, I'll start with Ms. Broniak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Generally, when someone's making a scholarship seating donation, they're giving a set amount. And so we back into the sales tax on that. We don't say, give us $5,000 plus sales tax. So because we back into it, that just lowers the revenue. And of course, with this being over $1 million in sales tax on the contributions, that's all that money that can't be spent on scholarships.
One more question, Mr.
Representative
Chair.
Miller, take your time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just the one final, so then my understanding would be is that when someone makes this scholarship contribution, it is, if you will, a nonprofit contribution. And so the person who donates for this scholarship license, that is considered a nonprofit contribution. So if I get $5,000 for a seat, can I personally write that off as a contribution?
Mr. Kleman, would that be considered a contribution and able for deductions?
I would hope so, but I'm just curious.
Yep. Mr. Kleman.
Mr. Chair and Representative Miller, provided that those contributions are being made under the rules of Section 172 of the Internal Revenue Code, they could be deducted as a charitable contribution. However, we have to look into this a little bit because there are also what are called quid pro quo rules under Section 172, which can sometimes limit that deduction. But we need a little bit of time to figure that out.
Mr. Chair, I'm just trying to,
Miller.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just trying to figure out the financial structure of this. Like I said, this is sort of new to me, and I just want to know where the money's going or how it's looking. I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Representative Miller. Good questions. And just since Ms. Broniak brought this up, the revenue estimate on this is $930,000 in 22, and then 940 in 23, and then going up $10,000 each year. So 930,000, 940,000 this biennium. Representative Garofalo.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I wish someone would have told me that Quincy Lewis was going to be on this call today. He's one of the all-time best Gopher basketball players of all time. And so it's just, it's great to see him here. A lot of positive memories from his time playing with the Gophers and then his successful professional career. So Mr. Lewis, thanks for being here and helping support the cause. This is a really good bill, Mr. Chairman. I thought that we had taken care of this last year, and maybe I'm confusing it with another collegiate bill. Can nonpartisan staff or can the author clarify what happened to this bill last year?
Representative Garofalo, we have heard the bill before. It has not been included in an omnibus bill.
Okay, all right. So, okay, well, I just want to thank the author for bringing this forward. It's a good bill, and it would hopefully this is something that you can you can include in your omnibus bill later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Sandell, you had your hand up at one time. Are you still in line?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just pass. Thank you.
Very good. Representative Detmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And yes, this looks like it's a good bill. I have a couple questions. What sports are we talking about? Are we talking about all major, I shouldn't say major or minor, I should say all sports at the University of Minnesota? And are we under the NCAA rules regarding this? And would these funds then go towards all sports, both men and women?
Very good. So who would like to answer that? Where would these funds go? Do they go to all sports at the University of Minnesota or certain sports?
I guess I can start.
Mr. Lewis.
So, and then Tim McCleary, he's also on as our CFO. So right now, ticketed events, so it is football, men's and women's basketball, hockey are the ones, but mainly most of our ticketed sports have the opportunity to have this. And right now, by law, that this revenue only goes to scholarships or the add-ons that they had on the day, which are academic and nutrition. Tim, did I get that right?
Yeah, and I'll just
Mr.
add
McCleary,
that
please identify yourself, please.
yeah, I apologize. Tim McCleary, so I'm the CFO for the athletic department, and really appreciate the opportunity to hear that you guys are hearing this matter today. So yeah, the sports that were identified were the SSD revenue is generated is football, men's and women's basketball, men's hockey, and volleyball. But that revenue is used for all sports, for scholarships for all sports.
Representative Detmer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I know being a wrestling coach myself for many years, and so same with the chair, Marquart. I know the University of Minnesota over the past 15 years have drawn some big crowds and have held the Big Tens, and we also have held the NCAAs. Hopefully we'll get it back because we didn't get it last year. But wouldn't wrestling qualify for this too?
Mr. Lewis.
Go ahead.
Or
Yes.
Mr. McCleary.
There is some seating that holds donation levels for wrestling.
Okay.
And I can clarify.
Mr. McCleary.
Yeah, so wrestling would have the opportunity to generate this revenue through their events, but wrestling student athletes, they receive, so we use the SSD revenue from the sports that generate it for all of the student athletes, for all sports. So that's correct, that wrestling student athletes benefit from SSD revenue that's generated by football or basketball or any of the other sports that generate it. Does that answer the question?
Yeah,
Representative Detmer.
Mr. Chair, thank you. And thank you, Mr. McCleary. Yeah, I just didn't hear the sport of wrestling mentioned earlier in the testimony that, I got to stick up for that sport of wrestling, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Representative Swedzinski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just this goes back to that charitable contribution conversation that happened with Mr. Kleman. Isn't it you only can claim as a deduction, like if you're essentially trading a good? So let's say you went to a silent auction for sports, like, and there's memorabilia like a Vikings banner or a picture of a sporting person, and you bid on that, you'd only be able to deduct the value beyond the expected real value. So say if it had an expected real value of $90, you'd only really be able to deduct the value that you bid past its real value. If I'm correct.
Mr. Kleman.
Mr. Chair and Representative Swedzinski, I would need to look at the Section 172 rules on that. To be sure, I want to make sure I give you a right answer on that. I can make one clarifying comment. House Fiscal did dig up that in the 2019 tax bill in federal conformity that did disallow the deduction for the college athletic seating payments in the year 2019. So presumably those were eligible for the charitable deduction contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Kleman. Representative Swedzinski.
And just a final comment. I mean, from my previous conversations with former Chair Detmer, I really didn't think wrestling was a sport, but more of a life.
Oh, well put, Representative Swedzinski. I'm glad you added that last part on there. Representative Gomez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I hate to be the bummer in the room and with everybody having a good time talking about their support for this bill. I guess I just wanted to say that to me, this is one of the kinds of tax expenditures that justifies the creation of our tax expenditure commission that we're working on together this year. And, in particular, actually the stadium suite exemption that Representative Noor referenced in his testimony, I think is really one of those expenditures that won't meet the test once we get into it of what's the legislative intent. And if you compare the effectiveness of the tax expenditure to a direct appropriation based on the outcome, when you check it against the legislative intent, that it won't meet that test. And so, Representative Noor, I appreciate what you're doing here, and I guess I just didn't want it to go past without remarking on that. So, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Representative Gomez. Representative Herr.
Thank you, Chair Marquardt. I'll be quick, and I'm kind of in the same place Representative Gomez is as well. And maybe I missed this, and my apologies if I did, but I just want to understand that this is going to go to the scholarship fund, and this is for the athlete scholarship fund. Is that correct? So the funds the athletes who actually get scholarships to come to the U. Is that correct?
Representative Noor, did you want to answer that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's correct, Representative Hart.
And so I guess
Representative Hurt.
Chair Marquart, I guess that leads me to my question of like scholarship. And this is nothing against the scholarships for athletes. I actually will have an athlete at the U this fall. She's going to be a diver at the University of Minnesota. And I'm really proud of that. But I also know that scholarships are given, it's not needs-based. So I guess I would just like to understand who benefits specifically from the scholarship fund, because again, I would love to see the breakout of the athletes who actually would, short of having funds to go there, they wouldn't be able to, versus those who get a scholarship but not necessarily would need it. And so I'm just curious as to who specifically benefits.
So the revenue estimate is $930,000. That is going to be dollars that the University of Minnesota would not have otherwise. So Representative Hurt's question is, of that $930,000, who specifically would benefit from that as far as the student athletes? Is that right, Representative Hurt?
It is. Actually, just to be really clear specifically, I mean, I want to know that like when we give these types of breaks, that it actually goes to people, let's say like students, maybe athletes who, are from low income families, or they're from, or they're first generations to go, or like, I would like to know the demographics of those who get the benefit from this, because again, we don't need to give benefits to people who actually don't need it to go to college.
Very good. Who would like to address that? Mr. Lewis or Mr. McCleary? Mr. McCleary.
Mr. McCleary, yes.
Yeah, and Quincy, if you want to add, so I think we're talking specifically about the $936,000 estimate. So currently, if the tax law was changed, we would that would be part of our total SSD revenue that then we would use to allocate to scholarships for all of our student athletes. It's not necessarily tied to certain student athletes currently, like our endowments are, but we would be open to the will of the legislature if there were an interest in tying it to certain student athletes, whether it's where they're from or their economic background, those types of things.
Thank you. Representative Hur.
That's it, Chair Marquardt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else care to ask questions or testify on House File 298 as amended? Representative Detmer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. And yeah, it's I think the NCAA has something to do with the amount of scholarships available for each sport. I think that varies from sport to sport, activity to activity. And so I know the U has to, I know right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Clary, the university doesn't get any state money for scholarships. It's all generated within the athletic programs itself. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but I know each sport has their own number of scholarships that are set up by the NCAA.
Mr. McCleary, is that correct?
Yeah, Representatives, it's correct that the NCAA has limits on each sport in terms of the number of scholarships that can be awarded for each sport. And to fund our scholarships, it primarily comes from the scholarship seating donation revenue. If we do not have enough scholarship seating donation revenue to cover the scholarships in a given year, then we would use operating funds generated by the athletic department.
Anything further, Representative Detmer?
No, that's what I understood. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Representative Noor, closing thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members, for allowing me to present this bill. This is about the students. This is about my constituents who are residing in my district, and also your constituents, your students. So given that this is the standard in many places across the country, so I would like us to consider allowing the exemption for the scholarship seating program so that we can support the students. And I've heard that the University of Minnesota is open to allowing this program to be more targeted. So I welcome that idea and I support going forward. So I'd like to ask for your support. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you very much, Representative Noor. Representative Carlson renews his motion to lay over House File 298 as amended for possible inclusion into the tax omnibus bill. Thank you all. Thank you all to the testifiers. Moving to the next bill, House File 975, we have Representative Igo here, Grand Rapids Civic Center construction refundable exemption provided. Would someone like to move House File 975?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Representative Leslie Gard moves House File 975 to be laid over for possible inclusion into the tax omnibus bill. Representative Igo, welcome to the committee. Your first time before the tax committee. Welcome. And if you would please begin your testimony, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for having me. So House File 975 is, like you said, a tax exemption bill for the Grand Rapids Civic Center. So in my hometown of Grand Rapids, we have a large civic center that not only hosts hockey, but many other various activities and serves as the convention center for a good part of our region there in the Northland. So I won't go into it too much. I've brought two testifiers with me, our city administrator, Tom Pagel, and then a council member, Rick Blake. So I'll hand it over to them to present this project.
Very good. So we'll start with Tom Pagel. If you would please introduce yourself and begin your testimony. Welcome.
Chair Marquart, and the rest of the committee. My video is currently not working, but I'm asking if my audio is working.
We are hearing you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. The improvements we're looking at is the replacement of our truss and roof on our west venue, along with the replacement of refrigeration, major ADA improvements, including the installation of an elevator, along with HVAC improvements that are dating back to the 1960s. From a regional impact perspective, Councilmember Blake will talk about this.
Very good. Councilmember Blake, welcome to the committee. Please identify yourself.
My name is Rick Blake. I'm a city councilor in Grand Rapids and also a former high school wrestler. Does that count for extra credit, Chairman?
Councilmember Blake always wins extra points.
Go for it.
This facility has a large regional impact. Independent School District 318 is a major tenant with over 60% non-city students. Because of its close proximity to Grand Rapids High School, it serves as the evacuation facility